So, Chris, here we are again, IPS. We've been here a few years now, you and I, over the years. We've done quite a few of them. Is there anything on this particular show that's standing out for you so far? It does seem to have a bit more of a buzz than the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think there's actually more discussion this year about the actual business of transaction banking and payments and how to strategically grow that business and the importance of that business to the bank overall as recognised post the 2008 fallout. For the past few years, normally at IPS we've been talking regulation, SEPA, PSD, stuff like that, which is actually far more the force of change, whereas this year it feels like it's more talking about the opportunity for change.
We kicked off with Steve Ellis from Wells Fargo saying, don't panic, look up and get on with things, it's not as bad as you might think. There's a sort of sense of optimism, isn't there? Or is optimism going too far?
I think optimism is going too far. I mean, it's more keep calm and carry on.
Right.
So it's more a case of, yep, we are overwhelmed with regulation, get over it. Regulation is an opportunity to change, so look at the opportunities in changing. And as you do that, the challenges are things like rationalising the IT infrastructure, re-energising and renewing the processes, and that's a big tall order, but it can be done. So keep calm, carry on, and get on and do it.
Yeah, Steve's thing starting off was trying to answer the 10-year-old Heidi Miller questions from Cybos 2004, where she posed, I think, 4 existentialist questions. Do you think those existentialists, what are we doing? That crisis has been resolved, and now the industry is starting to see how it fits in the emerging sort of digital ecosystems and so on?
I'm not sure. I mean, Heidi Miller 10 years ago, as you say, asked these big questions. Why is it that all the innovation comes from outside the industry? Why is it that we make it so complicated to do cross-border payments? Do I need SWIFT in the age of the internet? And to a large extent, we haven't really answered all those questions. They're still as relevant today as they were 10 years ago. By way of example, innovation is still coming from outside the industry. We talk about Square and PayPal and all the guys who are coming in, like Zopa and the new business models. We talk about that it's still incredibly complicated doing cross-border transactions. Even though we're almost 15 years into the SEPA program, it's still only just being delivered, and some of the corporates this morning said that we only just heard about it in the last 6 months, so we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, that's interesting. But if the innovation is coming from outside, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. I mean, Julie Myers from Ariadne Capital, I don't know if you saw her thing, she was saying that the Goliaths of the industries have to dance with the digital Davids, was her phrase. It's something you would have on your blog, that kind of phrase.
It will be.
It will be. But she was saying it's fine. So a company like Monetize has partnered with all the big banks, and that's fine. You find the innovations, do the partnerships, and that emerging business model seems to be more accepted.
Yeah, I actually thought that was a really good presentation, the idea that you've got the incumbents, the Goliaths, who will see these nimble companies coming in and starting to disrupt. And the question is, are they disruptive enough for Goliath to stamp on them, which is what BBVA have done with Simple, because they've acquired the David, or do they just dance with them? And that's the Monetize example, is a great one. And her message was find natural allies. Yeah. So when you see that there's enemies out there, threats out there, not all of them are enemies and threats. Some of them are actually people you can bring into the camp and say, you know what, you could really help me grow. Yeah. So that's what we're looking for in the coming years. Another 10 years before we answer Steve Ellis' questions. It'll be interesting to see what people have got to do then. But for now, thanks, Chris. Thank you.